If you really want to know if a company can pay its bills, the simple current ratio, well, it can be pretty misleading. So today, we're going to dive a lot deeper. We're going to explore three more conservative, almost diagnostic tools that can show you a company's true liquidity, getting us way beyond those surface level numbers. So let me start with a question for you. Can a company that looks perfectly healthy on paper actually be in the middle of a serious cash crunch? The answer is absolutely 100% yes. And today, we're going to figure out exactly how to spot that illusion.
Okay, so at first glance, this company looks pretty good. You can see its net working capital, that's just current assets minus current liabilities. It actually went up by 10 grand this year. Now that seems positive, right? I mean, it's a bigger short-term cushion than they had last year. So far, so good.
But here's our first clue that something's a little off. When we do the standard current ratio, we see it actually dropped, and pretty significantly, from 2.31 all the way down to 1.95. So what gives? Well, while their assets grew, their liabilities grew even faster. And this really shows the main weakness of the current ratio. It treats all current assets the same, like inventory, assuming you can just snap your fingers and turn it into cash. And as we know, that's just not always true. So this brings us right to our first specialized tool, the cash ratio. I want you to think of this as the ultimate liquidity stress test. It asks a really blunt question. If a crisis hit today, could this company pay its bills with only the cash it has on hand right now? And this slide right here perfectly shows what we mean by conservative. The current ratio, that's the whole shebang. It includes everything. Then the quick ratio gets a little stricter, right? It kicks out inventory. But the cash ratio, oh, it is the toughest of them all. It strips away everything except for actual cash and things that are basically cash, like marketable securities. And that's the whole point. The cash ratio totally ignores inventory you hope to sell or receivables you plan to collect. It only cares about pure hard cash. It is a really stark measure of immediate solvency designed for that worst-case what-if scenario that keeps creditors and, really cautious analysts up at night. So let's run the numbers for our company. We take their cash and their cash equivalents, that's 490 grand in total, and we divide that by the current liabilities of 390,000. And the result we get is 1.26. What this means is the company has $1.26 in pure cash for every single dollar of its current bills. Now, any ratio over 1 means you pass this stress test. But you have to look at the trend. It's down from 1.53 last year. So while they can still cover their debts today, their position is clearly getting weaker. For an analyst, that downward trend is a big yellow flag that says, hey, pay attention to this. Okay, let's switch gears and move to our next tool. We're shifting our focus from that static snapshot in time balance sheet to the dynamic story that the statement of cash flows tells. This is the cash flow ratio, and it connects the money a company actually generates from its business to the bills it has to pay. The key phrase here, the one you've got to remember, is core business operations. This ratio tells you if the company's day-to-day work, selling its stuff, is actually generating enough real cash to stay afloat without having to rely on things like outside financing or selling off its assets. And for our company, the cash flow from operations this year was $382,000. Now, when we divide that by the current liabilities of $390,000, we get 0.98. And whoa, that is a major red flag. Just last year, this ratio was 1.06. This year, it has fallen below that critical 1.0 threshold. Now, it is so important to remember this. Please burn this into your brain. Cash flow from operations is not the same thing as net income. Net income has all sorts of non-cash stuff in it, like depreciation. Cash flow from operations, that's the cold, hard currency that actually came through the door. Confusing those two is a really, really common mistake. A ratio below 1 is a huge deal. It's basically screaming at us that for this period, the company's core business didn't make enough cash to cover its short-term bills. They had to get that cash from somewhere else, maybe from savings, maybe new loans, who knows. This is a sign of operational weakness that the other ratios might not have picked up on. All right, our final tool is all about getting the big picture view. The net working capital ratio helps put a company's liquidity into context. See, it's not just about how much working capital you have, it's about how that safety cushion compares to the overall size of your company. So what this ratio really asks is our operational buffer, our liquidity, appropriate for our scale? I mean, think about it. $1 million in working capital might be massive for a small local business, but it's dangerously thin for a huge corporation. This ratio helps us make that critical distinction. So to get the number, we take our net working capital, that's the $370,000, and we divide it by the company's total assets, which are $1.8 million. That gives us a result of about 0.206, or 20.6%. In other words, just over a fifth of the company's entire asset base is made up of its short-term liquidity cushion. This visual right here just nails the concept. It's a balancing act, right? On one side of the scale, you have your immediate operational health, your net working capital. And on the other side, you have the entire weight of the company, all of its assets. This ratio is asking, are these two things in balance? Is your short-term health strong enough to support your overall size?
And surprise, surprise, just like our other ratios, this one has also declined, falling from 22.5% last year. So even though their absolute working capital went up a little, this ratio tells us that their current liabilities are taking a bigger and bigger proportional bite out of the company's total resources. It's super useful for comparing companies of different sizes.
So when you put it all together, what you have is a complete analyst's toolkit. A good analyst never, ever relies on just one number. They use these different ratios together to read all the signals and build a complete story about a company's financial health. So let's just quickly recap the toolkit. First, the cash ratio asks, can we pay our debts right now? Then the cash flow ratio asks, did our actual business generate enough cash to survive? And finally, the net working capital ratio asks, is our safety cushion big enough for our size? See? 3 different tools, 3 vital questions. And really, that's the main takeaway from all of this. A single number almost never tells the whole story. Remember our example? The net working capital looked okay, but every single one of our more advanced ratios was getting worse. A smart analyst sees those conflicting signals and knows it's time to dig deeper, because the trend is just as important as the number itself. We started this whole thing with a company that looked fine on the surface, but our toolkit revealed a totally different story underneath, a story of weakening liquidity. And that is the power of looking past the obvious. So the next time you're looking at a financial statement, don't just take one number at face value. Use the full toolkit. Because now that you have these tools, you can find the real story the numbers are trying to tell you.